Hey y'all, I'm Chris and this is It Worth It, y'all? And remember all that zucchini that we put up the other day? Well, it's frozen, thawed out. I'm draining the water off of this and we're gonna make zucchini bread. So if you wanna see what that looks like, stick around because here we go. All right, let's get this zucchini bread party started. Now, how do I know where to start as far as the recipe goes? Okay, Chris, what in the hell are you talking about? Well, when I'm draining the water out of this bag and I'm figuring out all those 8 million zucchinis that I processed the other day, and thank goodness for electricity and food processors because that would have taken me eons to do by hand. And if you remember correctly, little side note, this is why I like to shred, freeze, thaw, because you don't have to do anything except thaw your zucchini. Look at all the water coming out. All you have to do is thaw your zucchini, and the cell walls in the zucchini actually release all these juices. Could I save them? Yeah, but I mean, I'm not going to make smoothies out of it. I'm not going to, I mean, if you're the type that uses zucchini water instead of coconut water, then you save all this and you've saved a crap ton of money from buying whatever waters you want to add to your smoothies, because it's extremely nutritious. I just don't have a real use for it. I don't have pigs to feed. I don't have chickens to feed. If I did, I'd be saving all this and we'd be pumping up and turning zucchini into bacon and eggs. Because, I mean, yeah. Yeehaw. Okay. Look, remember all that zucchini we had? It's turned into this. I mean, that's pretty baller. Okay. So here's where we start. We have this bag of zucchini. And I need to get 3 cups out of here to make 3 loaves. So that's what we're going to do. Let's see if we can come up with 3 cups of zucchini. There's one. We'll get a second one, hopefully. There's 2. And then, depending on what this one looks like, oh, it's so close. Okay, we're gonna do 3. All right, triple batch. Yeah. So all that zucchini we processed the other day, 3 loaves of zucchini bread. Let's move on to the recipe. Okay, for those of you wondering, Chris, why in the hell do you have a glove on your hand? And why do you have it rubber band and all the yadas? Oh, as long as I don't hit you. Sorry, I'm really good at doing that. Okay, why? A red wasp stung me yesterday. It hurt. So I forgot how bad a wasp sting was. Like, crying like a little girl. Hurts, still hurts, is still hot, is still swollen. So I actually broke out. I did like the sting kill stuff, and then now I'm like, okay, hardcore foolproof lidocaine. And I don't want lidocaine in the zucchini bread, so I put a glove on, I ratcheted it down, and we're doing it. Triple batch. Here's the book. This is my prized, outside of my grandmother's. Oh, have you guys ever seen my grandmother's cookbook? Outside of my grandmother's cookbook, this is my prized possession that I do a lot of my cooking with. Better Homes and Gardens, the new cookbook, 11th edition. It's got some really cool old school stuff in it because it's like an anniversary year or whatever. And the one page that is completely ruined in my book is page 114 because it's the zucchini bread and the banana bread recipe. And I don't even have to like search for it because it's so gross. My book just turns right to it. Let me go show you my grandma's book. Hang on one second. Okay, this is my prized possession. The Household Searchlight Recipe Book. The Household Magazine. Look at it. Look how beautiful it is. This woman saved everything. Look at her handwriting. Isn't her handwriting gorgeous? I actually have her high school diploma, and she actually won like a scholarship for handwriting because her handwriting is so beautiful. Look at that. that crazy? Look. So, here's the inscription on the inside. This makes me cry every time I read it, so y'all just have to hang on. Miss. And you see she scratched it out when she got married. Miss Loretta A. Johns. And she put incorporated behind her name because she wanted to own a business. And it gives her address, February 25th, 1937. And then she redid it. This isn't her handwriting though, so I don't know whose it is, or maybe because she's older, she changed it a little bit. But it says Mrs. Loretta A. Winwood, December 22nd, 1968. So she's had this since February 25th, 1937, and now I get to enjoy it. Sorry, it's a little emotional. Now, this thing is tore up. This woman used this book. Do you remember stuff that came on like the back things? She saved it. Look at all these, and then she would cut out newspaper articles. Like, look at all this stuff. Oh, and the sides of boxes. Look at this. Oh, it's so good. Some of these clippings, let's see if I can find dates for you. Oh, the year that's cut off. Oh my gosh. Oh, home of the Goodwill used cars. You can get a 64 Tempest for $11.95. This is so great. Cranberry nut bread. Apparently she liked that recipe. Uh-oh. Now what I also found in here, sorry, I'm taking you guys down memory lane real quick. I found she used to be a lunch lady. And she used to write down the lunch lady stuff. Oh, wow, look at that. That's her handwriting. I don't know what this is. Oh, cheesecake. Now, let me tell you something about this woman's recipes. So when you guys want to leave recipes for your family members, what you need to do is write down your recipes and then follow them, because y'all forget to write stuff down. This woman forgot to write stuff down. She had all these great recipes, and then you try to follow them. You can't follow them. There was stuff in her head that did not make it up. Oh, they didn't make it on the paper. Look, here's how you know she was a lunch lady. Hang on. Oh, what's this one? Oh, 1968. Wow. This is so cool. If you ever have the opportunity to get a hold of your family members' books like this, do not throw them away. Do not let them go in an estate sale. Hang on to this stuff. This is so unbelievable. And my grandma's hands have been digging through this book since 1937. How cool is that? Now it's my turn. It's 90, this book's almost 90 years old. I just realized that. This book is the book? No, my grandma had it for almost 90 years. Hang on, let me find the, it's 100 years old. Topeka, Kansas. No, it's 90. Yeah, it's 90 years old. Topeka, Kansas, 1936. Look, this book is 90 years old. But here's the lunch lady story. She used to be a lunch lady. Maybe that's why she got her passion for feeding people. Lamar University School Lunchroom, Wednesday, August 8th, 1973. Menu by Port Arthur Independent School District. Mr. Roger Martin, Director of Cafeteria. Mrs. Martha Finley, Cafeteria Manager. They are going to have beef tacos, chalupas, Mexican corn, jellied applesauce, cinnamon rolls, tea, and milk for students. And here are the recipes. Beef tacos for 100 servings. Where do you think I got my love for feeding people? I haven't tried these recipes. I just know they're in here. Chalupas, 100 servings. Hey, if you were in Port Arthur in 1973, y'all were eating well. Look, jellied applesauce. This is the ingredients, the weights for 100 portions, and how to cook it. Here's your menu if you were at this school. I have it. So my grandma was a lunch lady. I think that's where I get my passion from. Okay. back to zucchini bread. Okay, now this is one recipe that I do not follow the directions. You're supposed to do dry, dry, wet, wet, mix it all together, yada, yada. I literally throw it all in the bowl, zhuzh, throw it in the pan. It works fine. So let me go get the rest of my ingredients measured out and we'll assemble and bake. First ingredient outside of the zucchini, 4.5 cups of flour. Today I am using all-purpose flour because these are going to go to Greg's office. And I want them to rise and I want them to be like they would understand a zucchini bread to taste like. If I used whole milled flour or something like that, the texture would be weird and they might not like it. Okay, flour. Next, 3 teaspoons of cinnamon. 1, 2, 3. Teaspoon and a half of baking soda. 1/2. 3/4 teaspoon baking powder. Close enough. 1/4 teaspoon salt. Looks good. 3/4 teaspoon ground nutmeg. If you've never seen nutmeg, this is what I use. It's got a little house for it. This is fresh ground. And if you don't throw it in your mixture, fresh ground is the absolute best. The flavor is so much nicer and you really don't have to use as much because fresh ground is just so good. Of course, this little piece is down to a little nubbin and I'm having a hard time hanging on to it, as you can tell. Just rub it on this little thing. It's kind of like a ginger grinder is nowadays. This is an antique that I got at an antique mall and it works amazing. You hit it real good. It gets all the nutmeg off. Oh, come on. Come on, little side. A little bit more. I'm obviously eyeballing this. And fresh ground nutmeg is strong. So if I'm short with 3/4 teaspoon, oh look, it just broke. Okay, that's enough. Then I go put another, oh, it smells so good. Go put another nutmeg in there. Get ready to go the next time. 3 cups of sugar, plain old white sugar. This stuff's good. I don't have complaints from the folks that eat this. All right, the zucchini is in, and then I need 3/4 cup cooking oil. We're gonna go about right there. It's about 3/4 cup. Eggs, I need 3 of them, 1 per recipe. How did that break on the other side? Are you kidding me right now? Okay, that egg had other plans. Let's try that again. That egg behaved. All right. Freshly shredded lemon peel. Do not have. So let's add some lemon juice. Just a wink. It says 1/4 teaspoon finally, so I'm going to go. And that's for the whole batch. You don't need a lot of it. Now, the ingredient that never, ever is called for is vanilla. And we measure vanilla with our hearts. And so, about that much. Somewhere between 2 tablespoons and 1/4 cup. I'm gonna keep my glasses on for just a second more. I got all the stuff, grease all the things, stir all the things. 350, the beep just beeped, 55 to 60 minutes. Now, y'all know I don't make plain. Eggs go over there. This guy, invest in one. It's the only way you're going to make it through the zucchini. It's a Dutch whisk, I think is what it's called. Get one of these. I'll link it. Okay. Stir all this up. It's going to take a minute. I'll speed it up for you. Okay. Whew. Who needs a gym? I'm going to add 1 more egg because I feel like this is a little stiff. Oh, there it is. There she blows. Now, when you're mixing 3 batches at the same time, it is a workout. It's a workout. Now, what I like to add in my batches is all the leftover piddly chocolates that I have that I haven't used. That looks funny. I'm gonna put this unopened bag up. And then I like to go through and all the walnuts or nuts that were old or that are in the freezer for way too long, or I had for a different recipe, and if they sit any longer, watch this, chunks now, they're no longer halves, they're chunks. And we just put all this in here. You want to talk about elevate a quick bread. Makes it harder to test that it's done because you got like all these bits and bobs in the way. But if you cook this for about an hour, you're good. Look at all this. Yes, please. Now, I don't care what the recipe said. I don't care if we've got the right amount of ingredients. I made 3 batches worth, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pour this over 3 loaf pans, and whatever size they are is the size they are. Now, unlike bread, quick breads are more forgiving. So you can get away with how I cook. That's why I like quick breads, because I usually don't adhere to recipes at all, most times. So quick breads are so forgiving that you can literally do what I just did and like throw them together real good. As long as you don't throw off the balances too bad, and they'll bake up just fine. So this is like your zucchini bread. If you do a carrot cake bread style, banana bread, anything that says quick bread, which is like these kind of recipes. And we're literally just dividing them up into 3 pans. I prefer the glass over the, whatever them kind are called, the stone ones. They both work very well. There's no aluminum because I like the glass and the stoneware better. They just hold the heat better and it cooks through the product better. So if you're going to do it, go glass or go stone. And these 2, I got at the antique mall, resale. I did not pay retail prices for these. I went to a market and searched out used pans. Now, here's your search hack for you. If you're looking for Pyrex, some Pyrex is made in China back in the day, and some Pyrex is made in the United States. The Pyrex that was made overseas can blow up. Something in the manufacturing process, I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was intentional. It doesn't matter. Just don't buy it. Flip the pan over. Make sure it says made in the USA. All right. Oven, an hour. We'll see you in an hour. Look how beautiful, y'all. Aren't they gorgeous? These went for an hour and 15 minutes. I can only assume because you have 3 of them that it took that long. They are beautiful. We will take all of these. We're going to go to Greg's work because we have another loaf in the freezer. So we are going to donate all 3 of these.